Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Wednesday, December 20th, 2023. I'm just looking through some of these some of these comments here in the chat. You guys are just too much, honestly. Uh okay. With that said, let's put this together. I believe you watched the market today. Kind of interesting. The market might be smelling something. Couple things went on. 10-year yield, we are now at 3.85, and in my opinion, we're going lower. Now, the stock market today, wow, fell pretty much across the board. Nothing overly dramatic, but under pressure. Now, when something like this, when you see the market sell off the way that it did, I mean, look, this market has gone straight up for what, 8, 9 weeks, pretty much. We're due, I hate to say that, due for something, but that's not the case here. The market or something may be happening or may be about to happen. Remember, there are those privileged souls out here who get information before the rest of us do. And maybe, just maybe, some big players out here were made aware that something is going to occur, something kind of big. That drove more cash into the perceived safety of debt, and the stock market fell. Okay, beautiful. Let's keep our eyes on this. Be ready for any freaking thing. Things that you can't even dream about, like, I don't know, aliens landing on the White House front lawn. As bizarre as it may seem, more than likely, in this kind of an environment, being that we're all ready for it. Some kind of an event to again how do I say these things? I don't even know what without maybe a missile attack on something or other. Maybe we're gonna bomb Iran or some other thing. I mean, I don't know yet. Okay, nobody does. But when you see a move like that, you should think something may be about to occur. Now, with that said, people, I'm going to say it right here again. If you notice the title of this lovely video, okay, you want to beat the Fed at their own game, do what they're doing. Okay, what have I been telling you since time immemorial? Bet against the debt, become your own central bank here. Do the opposite of what? If the Fed's going to inflate the debt beyond your wildest dreams, we got to take the opposite side of that trade. If we know the Fed's going to buy it all, and they are going to buy it all moving forward, that means that you and I need to think about, okay, if we realize that that's going to inflate even further, well, maybe we should be betting harder or more so against the eventual implosion of this situation. We should also be getting longer the market. Okay. The Fed, look, I don't care what happens. I really don't. It's normal for a market to fall 5, 10, 15, even 20%. That's normal. And I can tell you what I'm going to do. You guys and girls, I love you all. And I would never steer you wrong. I mean that. But I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do here. I am going to look for more opportunity to buy more of this market cheaper, as long as, I've been telling you this, as long as we see rates being suppressed. Let's draw a line in the sand here. Okay. We've now broken below 4% on the 10-year yield. As long as, okay, we see a sub 4% 10-year yield, and this is from my lions out here mostly, okay, as long as we see that, a sub 4% 10-year yield, we buy every single dip that comes along. People, you always have to have some cash in reserve. Andy, thank you. Vince, thank you. Silver price range. Hold those questions till the end. We'll get to some of that later on. I don't really think about the price of silver. I don't even care. Again, just real quick, everyone here knows this about me. All right. The price action of gold. There's nothing real here. There's no price discovery mechanism at all that's going on. So let them play their games. Again, the more suppressed it gets in this kind of environment, I mean, come on. You don't even need one functioning brain cell. If we all know, all of us here realize Federal Reserve is going to buy it all, along with central banks. They're going to buy it all. Like we have, like you don't even know what's coming down the pike here in 2024. There's so many things that are going on right now. And I think the setup is pretty much right in our freaking face. That we haven't seen anything yet about what central banks are going to do to fulfill their end game, their goal to be the lenders and buyers of last resort, to own it all. We know they're going to inflate the debt on a scale that we can't even believe. Okay, and that's where we're going here. Obviously, massively inflationary. You're not allowed to know that. They're destroying the economy by design. You're not allowed to know that. They're fulfilling their goal to be the rulers of this planet. And you're not allowed to know that either. But that's the truth. So you want to be on the opposite side of that, okay? And silver, gold, platinum, palladium, silver, my favorite asset of all time. I don't care where the price goes. I don't care, because we eventually realize that this has gone beyond. You know, I'm at a loss for words, honestly. What we're witnessing here is unlike anything we've ever seen before. Sure, we've seen global debt rise and rise, but now it's rising at its fastest pace we've ever seen in history. You think that's by accident here? As the economy is being dismantled piece by piece, you think that's by accident here? I cannot imagine, again, and please do your own research here. I cannot imagine a better spot to be than in silver, number one, gold, number two, okay, platinum, palladium, number three. I mean, that's it. These things, okay, are so massively undervalued right now. Again, it's the mechanism. Risk on, risk on, risk on. Cash has to come from somewhere. So it makes its way into the stock market. And as long as they can keep the 10-year yield suppressed, and they're going to for as far as the eye can see. Again, we're at 3.85. Just yesterday, you and I called it. Actually, we called this weeks ago. Weeks ago, we said right here on this blog, you and me, that we were going to see an 8 handle or 3.88 on the 10-year or below. We're going lower. I mean, this morning, what were we, 3.87? We actually bumped up a little bit. We went right back down as the market started to sell off. All of a sudden, bells and whistles were going off in my head. Bang, 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 bing, 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 whatever. All kinds of strange sounds. Something's going on there, people. Again, those of you that understand the market, I know you all do, those of you that follow this blog, when you see a movement like that, the market's tasting something, smelling something. Some insiders got some news that we're not allowed to know about. Understand? But it doesn't matter what they do. Again, you and I got this covered from every freaking angle that you can imagine. You know, we're diversified. We're spread out into a lot of things. And me personally, as I said earlier, and as I've been telling you for weeks and weeks and weeks, I am looking to buy every single dip that comes along in this market, as long as they keep rates suppressed. I don't know another way to put it. If we know the Fed is going to buy it all, we need to buy it all too. Because we can play their game, or we can play it better than they can. And what they're doing lately is just insane to me. They're floating out Fed President Barker today, talking about, the inflation fight's not done. Yeah, they're not done, because they're going to continue to inflate. You see, it's unbelievable how they word these things. And if you can read between the lines a little bit, well, then we know what's going on here. If everyone, nobody here, no single person here believes that a miracle is going to occur and central banks are going to start to strengthen their own currencies. No, they're killing them by design. This is a deliberate act. This has been going on now for years and years and years, henceforth why the purchasing power of every single central bank is losing its purchasing power around the freaking world. None more so than here in the United States, where the dollar's lost, 98% of its purchasing power? They want that last 2%, and they're going to get it. They're going to get it. Just understand that. So realizing these things, people, makes our life so much easier. Honestly, so much easier. Anyway, with regard to the 10-year yield drop today, the dollar a little higher. Again, a little bit of a fair trade here, and that could bode very well for us here, my Lions, myself, looking to buy more of this market on the cheap, because they're not done, and they're gonna, again, we're going to see rate cuts at one point, and I don't think they're too far off as the economy continues to free fall. You understand? It's a very, very simple mechanism here, and I intend to buy it all too. If the Fed's going to buy it all, we're going to buy it all. All right, and we're going to bet against the situation as well. So how can we look? You and I are taking advantage of this from every angle. I don't think we can possibly be beaten. And on top of that, we know who our enemy is and we know what they want. So we can't lose. It's an impossibility in my view. Absolutely impossible. Anyway, cryptocurrency is doing very well today. Bitcoin over 43,000 again. You got gold and silver mixed today. Nothing really going on. Crude oil flat. The real story to me was watching the sell-off progress through the day and the drop in the 10-year yield. I am just sitting back. Something's going on. And it's going to be very interesting when it comes to light. Don't you agree? Anyway, I do not want this particular video to get long because I want to tell you something at the very end. So stick around. So what I would like to do, people, is cover some of your questions. Again, I'm still getting people who are unhappy saying that I'm not answering their questions, and I do my best to do this, people, to answer your questions, and I do apologize again if I don't answer your questions specifically. Anyway, where's Coco? Jerome, Coco's actually eating. That's why I don't bring him on too often, and I will. I promise I'll get him back out here soon. Yeah, it is a surprise, isn't it? I am not licking the silver bull. Forget about that. A special Christmas show. One day I'm gonna break out one of those guitars back here. I know a lot of you like that modern there in the back. It's a pretty nice piece. This other one here is a Mitchell. I think it's a product made by Guitar Center. It's actually a pretty damn good instrument. And you could pick one up for a couple $100. I'm not lying. I mean, I've had them all the top name ones. But this thing here, you want to pick up a nice guitar, cheap. I'm not talking about that modern because that ain't cheap. I'm talking about that one right there. This Mitchell. It's a nice piece. Anyway, all right, people. Look, so no, I did not say that. Goulstein, stop. Look, Goulstein, I don't know what's wrong with you. Goulstein's had a little too much action, I guess, here. But no, credit unions are not safe. When cash leaves your hands, okay, that you borrow from the Federal Reserve, because we work for the privilege to borrow that cash, and it ends up in one of these institutions, be it a credit union. There's of course still risk here, people. You know that. You know that. I don't have a Carvin or this other one. I'm not even familiar with that name. I always wanted a Carvin though. What was that? I'm starving for a Carvin. I'm wanting for a Carvin. I always wanted one, never had one. I wouldn't mind owning one down the line, honestly. Are we headed down? Look, bro, eventually at one point we're going down. But the real crash in the market is not going to begin or end in the stock market. I don't know another way to put this to you. It's the debt market. And looking at what you saw today, we had the Dow fall 450 points, but the 10-year yield dropped. Okay. That to me is an opportunity to buy. Honestly, are we going to finally get some kind of a correction or a drop in this market? I hope so. A Gibson L5, nice guitar. Residential housing, people have been speaking about this stuff for the longest time. If the Fed's going to keep rates suppressed, of course that's going to drive the price of real estate higher. It's a no-brainer. An ES335. Look at this is a person that knows their instruments here. Brandon, wow. Thank you. 3-year dues. You're awesome. I appreciate that. It is Info Warrior. It's all manipulated. But if we know that, that's our power. You have no idea. All right, Info Warrior. Let's talk about this real quick. People write to me every day. Greg, well, if it's manipulated, then how can we capitalize on this? How can we get knowing that this freak show is twisted and rigged and everything else? Well, that's our strength. We know our enemy is the central banks of the world. That period, the end. I mean, look, we don't have any representation. I don't care where you live in the world. They all are working for the central banks. All of them. I don't care how much you may think that's not true. It is true. All they want to do is push the wealth right up to the 1% and 2%ers. Rah, rah, rah. That stock market is going higher. It's not helping anybody out. Just like President Trump admitted when the Dow hit a record high. He says, "Oh, it's only helping the 1% and 2%ers, only helping the rich get richer." The man is 100% right. He loved when that was going on during his tenure, and he would love it again if he would get back over there, and he'll prop it up. He'll have the Fed cut rates, maybe even go negative. Sure, that would make the stock market skyrocket. It would destroy everything else. The wealth transfer would even pick up more speed. You understand? I think all of you get it, people. Anyway, why would you say you got banned, Wisco Pyro? You're not banned. You're right here. Anyway. All right, people, look, I got a big announcement. Are you ready? I don't know if you're going to be ready for this one. Let me be honest with all of you. I'm getting run down a little bit, and I am tired. A lot of you have been writing to me, "Hey, Greg, you look tired, man. You need a break." And I think I need a little bit of a little downtime here. That's really the truth. So what I am going to do, this is going to be my last video until next Wednesday. You heard that right. I am taking this time off. I need some downtime to recharge a little bit. I got this Fitbit thing. I was really worried about my blood pressure and stuff. This little doohickey is pretty neat. I'm like watching my blood pressure, my O2 saturation rate, and my heart rate, because sometimes I feel like I'm going to explode. It's the truth. So I'm going to take a little time off here. So you won't see me for a week, which means all of you are going to take care of each other, all right, while I'm away. And I wish you the merriest of Christmases and the happiest of holidays, and whatever out there that you celebrate. Just remember, look, we got to take care of each other. We got to love each other, care about each other, be charitable to each other, extend some human courtesy to people. We're not each other's enemies, despite the fact that they want us to think we are. This is, what they're banking on, that people are going to hate each other. It's an incredible thing. It really, really is. But we don't. See, this is a family here. It's a worldwide family. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you too. Anyway, so what we're going to do, all right, while I'm away, you're going to remember these things. We're going to be taking care of each other, loving each other. We're going to reach out to people that maybe we haven't in a long time. You know what I mean? This is a good time to do that, right? Act on these things. If you feel like an impulse, let's just say, something, I haven't talked to so-and-so in a really long time. I want to see how they're doing, and maybe that person is thinking the same thing about you. And what would be wrong with that? What would be wrong with reaching out to people and telling people that you've been thinking about them, that you care about them? It's just it's such an important, especially those of us that are older. Okay. And I'm talking about older people here. They don't want to be forgotten. Okay. Reach out to your parents, your grandparents, aunts, uncles, stuff like that. The last thing people want to feel is they're not needed anymore. So think about these kinds of things during this time of year, and, spread a little love, spread a little cheer. It's just so important. All right, look, again, guys and girls, I love you all from the heart, and I mean that, and I promise that I will be thinking about all of you here, all my friends are here. But I really do need some time down. I got to clear my head a little bit, got to get my act together a little bit, and I'll be back here, as I said, a week from today. What's the date? That would be what? I can basically do a little math. I would have to say this is going to be what, like the 27th or so. Yeah, it actually be. I'll see you on the 27th. 27th. All right. So no markets to look ahead. I'm going to take off. I'm really going to try to get my act together a little bit here, and I really could use it. All right. I will be thinking about all of you. I will be praying for all of you. We're all going to do great. And again, love you all. I'll see you in a week. That's it. Okay.